the northwest of Sligo, where it's getting increasingly sunny and I'm getting increasingly blinded here. I hope you're all okay and well, and life is being good to you. I had amazing dreams last night. Last night was just like one of these nights I just had like unbelievable amounts of dreams. It was mental, but yeah, interesting and not bad. But I was just thinking today, there's an awful lot to not being formally associated and contracted and attached. There's a lot of power in that, especially in this age. The independent, non associated mind. No, but I mean non associated doesn't mean you can't, you know, see an objective that's positive in some greater plan or negative. It just means you're not actually directly involved. You're saying this could be very useful for things. Like an example would be Trump. Trump is very useful. I wouldn't join the Democratic Party. I wouldn't be involved in politics, or Republican Party. I wouldn't be in politics and anything like that. I don't hate it, but I like the way he's disrupting globalists. So it's not association. It's just like, okay, that's useful, but you're still independent. When I was a young man, I had the chance to make it in music. It was coming. It was on the table. It was there, and something freaked me out, and I said no. As soon as things like contracts start looming and things like that, and I've been like that even as in in this life. About 10 years ago, well, maybe less than that, about 7 years ago, all kinds of people were coming up to me and saying, "Thomas, you should be a big star. Your personality, this management agency, this management group, this promoter, we can set you up with American tours, Australia, get you on big shows." And I was like, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. I like my own cruising altitude. I'm perfectly happy with that. And I'm glad. I'm glad because I don't. It's not that I hate commitment. I'm not very good at it. By commitment, I mean commitment to like contracts and business and work. I'm very bad at it. I don't, I don't like regular times and regular schedules. I'm just not good at that. I like just sort of like being kind of wild and feral that way, doing my own thing when it suits me. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's just how I am. So the concept of being independent and not contractually obligated brings with it a power that's surprisingly more powerful than a formalized or an association type contract or type grouping or function. And that power comes from the fact that it's autonomous, that it is independent. But it's not a power that's independent in itself that's powerful. It's when you have numerous independent entities, that's where the real power begins. Because you created an affront, a ad hoc opposition that's not united. Years ago, I remember my late friend Ian O'Crane saying to me, he says, "What makes the alternative scene so powerful is we have no, association, we have no charter, we have no grouping. We don't have the association of alternative thinkers, where we all have the minutes of meetings and a formal constitution and stuff like that. Because we're all separate and all independent, you cannot actually be infiltrated. This is why they've tried over the years Occupy. Russell Brand trying to get us into the Labour Party, the English ones into the Labour Party over there. All kinds of things. There's all kinds of things that had names like Reset. I remember there's like loads of them. Every so often they would show up, and they were a way of to try to scoop up the Zeitgeist Project, a way of trying to scoop up alternative thinkers into one formalized structure. that had a specific rule book, a specific charter, and the purpose of that was pure infiltration, so it could be infiltrated and taken over. But when you have a true sort of anarchic situation that you have with alt media and alt scene, where everyone is independent, although we've all got broadly similar objectives, basically to help free humanity from globalization. That's basically what if you bring it all down to one thing, that would be it. And to keep Western culture, keep culture going, and to maintain proper diversity of all different cultures and all different ways of doing and seeing, and not, not the globalization version of diversity where everything is the same. So, kind of an amorphous blob. And that's the power of the independent maverick, the power of the lone gunman, the lone, I mean it metaphorically, lone insurgent and so on. They can't be infiltrated. They would infiltrate as an individual, but not as a group, because they don't exist as a group. And why I'm bringing it up now is there's been a monumental victory here in Ireland. The working class residents of the North Dublin town suburb of Coolock, not far from where I grew up, have managed to defeat the IPAS centre that was being put into the Crown paint, formerly large, massive paint factory that used to be there. And that's a symbol of our times, isn't it? Like, they took away the industry, sent it to China, and then the locals were replaced a second time with welfare tourists from overseas. But the people of Coolock stood their ground. They didn't do any attacks physically on the police or anyone, or on the outsiders. And I have to go in a minute, and I'll make another video later. And they didn't do any violence towards the thing. There was some arson attacks, but they seemed very careful not to make sure no one was hurt by that. It was before anyone was in there. Although the left tried to make it, they're burning children alive. So they were successful. And they were successful the only way that the people in Ireland will be successful, in Britain and America will be successful, is as independent, operative, maverick units. Do not become formalized. Anyone trying to bring, even if they're well-meaning, to say we're going to start a new political party, even if they're well-meaning, that can be taken over. And that's the point of this first video. I'll make another video later. Is always maintain the ability to walk away, and also, clean, and also have the ability to not be infiltrated. And the best way to do that is to stick with your own ass and your own little thing. Okay, take care. See you later.